Tracy. She made a presentation to the Boulder Designers group, which happens to be a women's group that I go to, and I learned so much, and I was so thrilled after it and inspired that I thought I would invite her here, and she was kind enough to take us up on the offer. She owns Schloss Web Services and does a whole variety of things. One of her, I always like to pick out something interesting, and she kind of got going when she started a high school reunion website, which made the cover of the Connecticut section of the New York Times, which is pretty cool. That's the small club of people who have been on any cover of any New York Times. It's pretty big honor. So welcome Tracy, and she's going to teach us how to up our LinkedIn game.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
My name is Tracy Malone Schloss. I'll pass my cards around. I know you've got a web designer here. That is my primary business. I'm a web designer. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I do social media for clients. I teach them social media, how to integrate it into their website. And so that is how I become a LinkedIn speaker. I teach all over the place. And I'll do Pinterest classes and other types, but LinkedIn is my passion because I love LinkedIn and I work LinkedIn. I would say about a year and a half ago I had 500 connections, and most of them were people that I knew. I used to work for Priceline.com when I was back in Connecticut. After that New York Times spread, I got a job at Priceline, which was cool. And so most of them were people that I knew, and I didn't see the value in adding to my network. Now I not only understand it, but I teach people why LinkedIn can work for you. And this is a copy of my LinkedIn profile. Yay, the thing's working. If you look at your LinkedIn profile, it'll tell you how many people have looked at your profile in the last week. And this is in one day, 129 people have looked at it. And I've showed up 32 times in the last day in a search. So the reason that those numbers are pretty high is because I'm working it. And I suggest the things that I'm going to teach to you are going to change that for you. You might see that, one or two people have looked at you. If the numbers are low, you're not doing it right, and that's what I'm going to teach you. When you look at your profile, the first thing we're going to talk about is your profile has to be complete. People just, they get in there, they just put a little bit of stuff, and it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you come up in searches. Web design and SEO on your site is the same as getting SEO done on your LinkedIn profile. First thing you want to make sure when you look at your particular LinkedIn URL, and I'm keeping this slide up there to show you that you can customize that. There's a little button, you have that edit profile, and once you have that drop down, there's a little edit there. You can actually assign it to your name so that it can be LinkedIn/LinkedIn/your name. Well, there's probably other Tracy Schlosses out there. I'm a little confusing because I'm Malone and Schloss at the moment in between names, but you want to grab that because after the name is gone, someone else in Singapore could have your name. So you might be, Tracy-Malone, Tracy_Malone, Tracy A. Malone. There's all kinds of things, but grab it if you haven't done that one simple thing. It's also really good. Then you can put that on your card. You can add that where you're, pimping that out to people. Your most valuable business asset, well, a lot of people will say is your mailing list, and I'll agree with that. But that's your business asset. Your personal asset for your business is your online profile. It's the only place that you can control what is said about you. Now, yes, there's Yelp, and people can go out there and say other things that you can't control. But when you look at your profile and you Google yourself, this is a Google screenshot of myself. Got all these pictures that I've been tagged in. This is a networking group that I'm in, my website, Facebook. This is Twitter, Foursquare, LinkedIn, meetups. All of those are social media. And it's because I've put the content into those sites that is going to call me up. When you're being checked out by someone who's going to potentially hire you, they're going to want to know everything about you. Whether it's coming from a referral and you referred her, someone's going to check you out. They're going to want to learn more about you. And if they get to your LinkedIn profile and it's hardly anything there, they're not going to be that impressed because this is your business persona. This is everything that you can do very easily to make it work. I passed the slide, I'm going back to it. Something that people always think about and hit me with is that I'm not looking for a job. Why do I care what's on LinkedIn? LinkedIn is not a resume. It shows what you've done. A resume shows you what you've done. LinkedIn shows you what you can do. And if you use that theory in building your profile, you will be in a better spot. There are 150 million users, and they're business people. They are your customers, and they're the people you want. Facebook has its own little billions of people. They're customers. They might, have done business with you. They've got a different reason. But the people on LinkedIn are your customers, and you want to keep them around. First thing you want to do is make sure you work on your profile. Your profile is an opportunity for search, as I had said before. I've done 2 different queries here. This is in Google, Web Design Broomfield, to show you there were over 1 million results for Web Design Broomfield. And I'm down here, number 5, which is not so bad, because these all guys paid. You get a little yellow box there. That's not so bad. I don't know why I did Broomfield here and Boulder there, but I target both. And if you just look at the difference, there's only 8,200 people in the pool of web design for Boulder. I'd rather be in that pool than the 1 million people pool. So if someone's going to be searching LinkedIn, you have a better opportunity if you're actually putting out there that you do web design. If that's the search you want to be found for, look at the difference. 1 million or 8,200. Now, I'm second here, and this woman here, I taught her LinkedIn at the Boulder Designers a couple years ago. So she's been working it and doing it really good, and it's great. The most important thing on your profile that people forget, there's a section in here about how to contact us. If you don't have your phone number and you don't have your email, then you're just missing the ball. I can't tell you. I had a slide in here. I pulled it out last night because I didn't know if that guy was going to be here. I have a slide that, he has absolutely no contact information in there. There's no phone number. There's no nothing. If I go to their website where there's website links, they were just in email form. There was no phone number. I wanted to call him. It was just kind of crazy. So make sure that you've got that in there. These are simple spots to fill in. The next part of it is you've got these spaces in here. These spaces are for your Twitter account, and it says websites. By default, it actually says my website. When you click on that edit screen and you're on that particular spot, you can identify that you can change the word from my website to, my Facebook thing, my LinkedIn thing, my portfolio. Still going to your website, but it just doesn't look as generic, like you didn't know what you were doing, leaving the default words of my website. It also gives you 3 spots. So you may say, I only have one website. No, you don't. You have a Facebook profile for your business, maybe. You have a Twitter thing, Google Plus. You can put any of those in there as another representation where people can check you out. So fill in all those boxes. The headline, you get 120 characters. And I put that right there because it's an appalling fact. Look and go and see how many people put owner. Yeah, we all own our businesses, I know that, but nobody's gonna search for that because an owner of a dog store and an owner of a yoga studio, it's too broad. So take 120 characters and use them all, and use them as keywords. Look at how web design, social media consultant, SEO consultant, WordPress, branding consultant, writer, speaker. All of those are terms I want to be found for. And so if those terms weren't in my headline, this is like the extra read all about it on the newspaper. It's the most important thing in your profile. They don't know your name yet, but they are looking for a web designer. And they're looking for a web designer maybe in the greater Denver area. Or for me, I'm targeting in my content Boulder and Broomfield. So use those to be more keyword centric rather than, owner of Schloss Web Services. How would you know Schloss Web Services? It's irrelevant. Right now, you can put that in your content and in your description and all of the other fields that have to do with your business. But if you're talking about getting found, that's the key right there. Okay, I talked about this, contact information, really key. The next thing,
Can I just make it? That, to me, that was like the biggest headline from your talk, because once I started to try to reach out to others to link to them, I found that so many had owner, and you have no idea what their business is. Like, when you start to really use LinkedIn, you'll see this, how important that is.
how important, and how you'll stand out of like the
Yeah.
top by not doing that. It's just so crazy that people don't, naturally do that. The next part of it is fill out that profile. There's actually a little, screen on the side of the front of your profile that tells you you're a rock star, you're, not quite there yet, you're working on it, you got a lot more to do. There's a little Geiger counter on the side that's going to tell you where you are. Make sure it's 100% filled out. And once it's filled out and done, and that shouldn't take long, work on it slowly. The next thing is to build your connections. There are two different types, I call them. This is the guy that he only connects to people that he knows, and he knows them and he trusts them, just like you all in this room. You know each other, you trust each other, and that's great for this room. But if 4 guests walked in, would you talk to them? Probably. You want to meet new people. You don't know who they know that might need your services. This kind of person, they're out there. They won't connect to you. No matter what you do, they're just not interested because they only want to know who they know. A few weeks ago, right before my Boulder Designers talk, I had 2 of these guys, after I sent them a request to connect, 2 of them sent me an email and said, I'm sorry, but I don't connect to anyone I don't know. And I was like, fine, thank you for the letter, but this is my theory. My theory is the more is better. I think that I don't know who you know. You might, be a veterinarian, but your wife needs a site. I don't know who you know. And the idea of having more connections on LinkedIn means your message is reaching more people. So the difference between those 2 people were the guy that was high and mighty, didn't want to know anybody, but I actually had coffee with both of them. And now I'm in their LinkedIn thing, and they can say that they know me and they trust me and they can recommend me. They're loyal puppies. They're very, very dedicated to the people. So while they may be, on the front at first, if you do get into their good graces, it's a good thing. But again, you have a choice of less or more, less or more. I love puppies, so I say more.
Did you convince them during your coffee that they should be inviting or letting in everybody during their?
And a couple days later,
LinkedIn?
one of them sent me an email and said, "Do you really know this person? Because I saw you were connected to them." Because they were looking to reach out to somebody, and I had them in my network. I'm like, well, no, but I can connect you, and they can't connect to that person. But because I had opened my network, and I'm not like an open networker, but because I've opened it up and put these people into my, 4,700 connections right now, I can reach out to people that I couldn't reach out to before. Another part of LinkedIn that's really confusing to people is this skills and endorsements. It came out about 1.5 years ago, and personally, I think it's stupid, but it is there. And what they've done is they've scraped what you've written in your description and your summary and everything like that, and they've come up with this list of things that they think people could endorse you for. Now, again, 4,700 connections, I don't even know half these heads. I don't know who's endorsed me, and I just go, why did they endorse me for that? They don't know me. It's just a strange kind of, to me, I like the recommendations, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but what people don't understand is LinkedIn decided these are the things that people should recommend you for. And then they put it at the top of their page when they get there. Just randomly, you'll see, recommend these people, and they just go, sure, and they just click it, and it's gone, and all of a sudden you've got like another check on their e-commerce. It doesn't mean I wanted to be found for that.
So doesn't it, like, put your name out in front of everybody, so it says Stan Benson has endorsed Tracy, so your name pops up more? Is that why people do it?
No, they're doing it usually to get rid of it. I mean, it might be that their name's coming up, but it's just this big box that comes at the top of their screen, and it's not really, getting giving them any kudos to sit there. But the problem is that these are what I want to be found for, but your list might not be. I've already edited it. And if you look at it, when you're looking at it on your screen, there's a little edit button. This is what it looks like when you get there. So these are the things, again, I've already eliminated some of that, that I wanted in there. But you'll find a list of things in there. Even if someone, like 2 people have, recommended you for that, and you don't do it, delete it. Add what you'd like to be found for. In Dana's case, photographer. Well, children, family, portraits, landscape, flowers, dogs. These would be things that she should put up there. Not just photography. It's all of the other things that people want to search for.
Tracy, sorry for the interruption. With your presentation today, being the length that it is, I just ask everybody to hold questions until the end. We will have some time for questions. But be sure to write them down. 2 comments and a question over here were very good. But if we hold it until the end, that'd be great.
So, add what you want to be found for. Delete what you don't. Cross it off and make sure that you control what people are endorsing you for. Again, hold it with a grain of salt because some people value it. If you are looking for a job, if someone's checking you out, they'll see, oh my goodness, 99 people have said she's great at web design. They don't know, I don't know them, but it doesn't matter. It's another stamp of social proof. And so it's good to have it. You can also hide this. You can actually choose to say, I really don't want that. I don't know why you'd want that, because people are looking for it. So while my theory is, I'm not really sure why they did it, the difference between that and recommendations is huge. Recommendations are something that, as a web designer, doing this for so long, I've gone into clients' offices and web designers on this side of the table, you've probably seen it, where they say, here's some testimonials from my clients. They would have said this. And they write it down and they hand it to me. And then I have to put it on the website. And to me, that's just like, really? But people do that. So when I see a testimonial on a website, I take it with a grain of salt because I've seen my customers just jot it out and say, oh, I'm sure they would have been fine with that. When you get a recommendation in LinkedIn, those people, you're asking them to recommend you, and they're going in and making the effort and putting it in there. You then have the choice to approve it or not to approve it. You can even send it back for edits and say, I'm not sure, this is where we want to be, or could you target more, my speedy service, my this, my that. And you can ask people, because you've asked them for this recommendation. Whenever you do business with somebody, and all of you in this room can testify for each other and give recommendations for each other right now. You can, even if you use their service or not use your service, that's 25 extra recommendations that you should all be doing for each other. That should be part of your weekly thing, that you give somebody a recommendation and build their business. Because when somebody gets there and they see for each position that you have, and that's every single job that you've listed on there, you could have different numbers. And so, the more you have, the better you are. It's social proof that's actually valid and real. So I would say make sure you ask people for the recommendation after you work with them. Hey, we just finished your website, we just closed your mortgage, would you mind giving me a recommendation in LinkedIn? Connect to them when you first meet them and you're a prospect, and then you've got them in your network so that you can ask them to, give you a recommendation. After you've built up your army of people and connections, you've built up your profile, the next things that you do on a normal basis are, I didn't do this part, build your network. Going from 500 to 4,700, Dana went from 500, 300 to 1,000 since our talk that I did for her. And again, we go back to those 2 people, and there are different theories of why do I want more people? Why do I need them? You want more because your message will get out to more. It's like having a Facebook wall with 5 friends following you. It doesn't help you. But if you had 1,000, your message is going out farther. It's free, it's easy. There used to be hard times connecting to people. You'd go to a networking event, you'd grab everybody's card, you'd go home and you'd connect, because you had their email, and you could actually put that into the field. You'd have to say I was a colleague, or I met them, or, you know, there was something that you had to define in order to be connected to someone. There's a special part of, it's on the right-hand column of LinkedIn, called People You May Know. And this, if you click on it, you open up, you see a screen like this. And what it allows you to do is simply click connect, 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 connect. And the reason they're letting us do that is because we are second one away. Somebody I know knows them. So one of my 4,700 people knows them. And so therefore, they are identifying and giving you permission to send them an invitation. Works great on an iPad or an iPhone. You're just sitting there with your finger going, connect, 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 connect. And it works really well. Again, some people won't. They'll be the mighty-mighties. They're not going to connect to you. And some people are just going to say, sure, I need to know more. I get an average of 5 to 7 calls a week from LinkedIn. It's freaky. They just see my stuff. They see that I'm out there. I don't know if they're searching for me. I'm not really sure. It all just works. It works because I've increased my, network, and it works because I share things. LinkedIn started the wall, very much like Facebook, not that long ago. The wall lets you share an update. I try to share 1 update a day. And what that does is it puts me on the face of whoever I'm connected to. When they get to LinkedIn, I'm on their face, kind of like this guy had a story right here. People can like it, people can comment on it, just like Facebook, and it's adding to your social proof. But it's also being in their face. So when they get to the wall and, oh, there's Tracy again, just put something else up. There's Tracy again, just put something else up. All of a sudden, somebody they know needs a website, and they go, there's this girl, and then they call me. So by putting up an article or sharing something, it helps build you and get into the faces of those people. How you get content to put up there is kind of hard. Some of us have blogs. If we're really good about blogging, we have that opportunity to promote our blog stories. This is another place to do it. Your blog story up there, you put the link in. If you have a picture on it, I recommend that you make sure, if you're going to pimp it on here, that you do have a picture. See how nice that looks? And if I had some other ones up here that didn't have a picture, there's a big difference. So make sure you have a picture on your blog story. Get it up there. Go to Twitter. If you've got people that you follow in Twitter and they've just tweeted a great article on social media for my business, we'll put it up there. Google Alerts. You can get Google Alerts on all mortgage related, whatever your business is. You can go and get a Google Alert, and it comes to your mailbox every morning, and then you go, oh, good article, let me share that. Favorite leaders. Again, I go through Twitter. I have people that I follow, people that I like, and people that write books in my field, and I just clump onto what they're writing for the day. I don't have to write a blog post every day because I'm just aggregating someone else's content. It shows how I think is important. You can do this. I have this site here that, I don't know if you can see it, alltop.com. No. Okay, that's a site that I open up my tabs every single morning. When I open up my browser, I have 3 tabs open. Alltop is one of them. Alltop is owned by Guy Kawasaki, and it's sort of like, almost like an old Yahoo used to be. It just brings in articles based on topics. So I open one that's facebook.alltop.com. I open one that's foursquare.alltop.com, and I have this one opening, which is the main one. The reason is it's pulling all topics. So if I'm on the Facebook one, I'm getting different feeds from all over the place. It's just Facebook stories. You can put anything into the search box on top and go mortgage broker. You can say yoga. Whatever the latest stories that are trending on the whole internet are right there. So in 5 minutes, I can look and go, that looks like a good story. Click, whoop, share, done, I'm done for the day. And therefore, now I'm on the wall, and it's working for me while I've just pimped one story. So the most important thing is to get started, get out there, build your profile. Build your army of people to follow you. Don't be bashful about asking them to follow you. And answer emails. If people do send you an email back from LinkedIn, you'll have that little inbox, answer it. You just don't know who you're going to meet. I had some social media person connect me last week who I met, and now we're going to be doing business together. She's got a social media business, and she wants to use me to do it. So it's kind of funny. I wouldn't have expected that that was gonna be the match. But I found her on LinkedIn, she found me. So there are other entities, and I don't have time to talk about groups and discussions and all of the other things on your company page. There's lots of things that LinkedIn have to offer for a business, but I thought I'd just start with making sure your profile's up to date, making sure you knew where to change the vital parts. Does anyone have questions?
For further information, is there a place that you recommend or a book?
Contact her on LinkedIn.
Yeah, or go to Alta and then go to a LinkedIn search and then, bookmark that every day, see what the latest stuff is.
I had another question. You didn't have your business name and your name there. Is there a reason for that?
Because nobody knows my business name yet. So if you were looking at my actual profile, and I don't think it's in the profile, when you look at a profile, down below this original top section is a whole summary, and that's where I would put my business name. Now I'm the owner of, Colebach Marketing, which used to be Schloss Web Services, so I would put that there. Having owner and your business name up there, nobody knows your business name yet, but they are looking for a web designer. That's the difference. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is an insane question to ask after your presentation, but I have a LinkedIn thing, but I never use LinkedIn, and so hence I don't really put much weight in it. What do people really use LinkedIn for? Is it like a glorified Yellow Pages where they're just looking for services,
Well, people are looking, when they're looking for services, instead of going to Google and look for a web designer, because, look, it's a million people that they're gonna I'm gonna look through that. No, I'm gonna see if I have anyone in my network,
I see,
and they'll use it as a search tool.
I see, okay.
Right now, Twitter is like the biggest search tool next to Google, just so you know.
Oh.
People are looking in that search tool. So LinkedIn is also just tremendous, and it's business people looking for other business people, and to see if they're connected so that they can recommend, they can, try and make a call.
Nice.
I already got mine.
Wow.
So LinkedIn asks me about once a month to upgrade to something that I have to pay for.
Okay. The paid LinkedIn is really helpful if you are looking for a job. It allows you to connect and send an email to, the owner of Google or, the president or somebody here in Boulder. So you're looking for a job and you want to know somebody in Boulder's, Google, but you don't know anybody. LinkedIn, by paying for it, opens that door to people that you're not connected to. And I wouldn't necessarily pay for it unless you were looking for that.
You're not looking for a job, are you?
Depends, we'll have to talk later.
Yeah, all right.
On that,
I've got an opening statement.
if I get all these endorsements for things that I don't do anymore, and if I go in there and I edit and delete, will those all disappear, or will they continue to stay on my?
They'll disappear. So if you don't do copy editing, which was one of mine that had the number 2 at the bottom, and I just don't do it, you can just delete it. You're losing those 2 people, even if 60 people have endorsed you for a skill that you don't really want people to.
Yeah, I don't invest other people's money anymore, and so I
Right.
get these, endorsements for that, and I
Just
don't do
delete
it.
it, because again, you
Okay,
can put in what you want to be endorsed for, and then the numbers will start to grow in that field. They're
okay,
not going to grow where, you'll grow, if you're growing it in a place where you don't want to be found, you might as well just get rid of them. It hurts to say, oh gosh, 60 people like me for this, but if you're not doing it,
Yeah.
you're pimping out the wrong part of your business, and people are going to find you for the wrong services, and it's a dead link, it's a dead lead for you.
okay, thank you.
Tracy, I've noticed that, I don't know, just as an observation, I get anywhere from 5 to 10 endorsements a day. And my LinkedIn network is now pushing 1,000 probably. Most of whom are people that I have some casual relationship with, some of whom I have a pretty significant relationship with. But I never really have resolved how to get recommendations as opposed to endorsements. So beyond your suggestion that we all endorse each other, which is a great one, by the way, because that's reciprocal, how do you go about doing that with your clientele?
There's an actual option in the menu. So under your profile, it's one of the drop downs that say recommendations, where you can ask.
And I don't mean mechanically. I mean, when you have a do you have a conversation with a person who you know to be a satisfied customer?
Sometimes I just
You just
hit it
send
in
that, you
LinkedIn.
just send that.
I'll
yeah.
personalize the note inside it and
Uh-huh.
say, we just launched your website, hope everything's great, would you mind giving me a recommendation?
Okay,
And then that's really, primarily how I do it.
yeah, okay, thank you.
The LinkedIn.com/in your name, then you do @ and your name?
It would be LinkedIn/in/your name if you've edited it. If you haven't edited it, it's LinkedIn/pub/your name/numbers.
Okay.
It's a huge string of numbers, and that's what you want to try to whack, so you don't have that. This is my.
So I thought on that last slide, yours then said @ and then your name.
Okay, that was at the Twitter, so we'll
Oh,
get
okay.
into here. This is my email, and this is my Twitter handle. So even the Twitter handle, you normally use a #, you don't even need it there.
Say that again, your Twitter handle where?
Twitter handle, there's a spot, when you're filling out your profile, it has all these fields that you can fill in. One of them is your Twitter handle, and one of them, you've got the 3 spots for websites. You'll be surprised. It's, you have to hit the edit to see that there are 2 other fields. And then when you're in that section, and it's going to give you a place here for the URL, and then this is going to say my website. But you can highlight that says my website and turn it to be my portfolio, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, whatever you want.
And are you from Fairfield?
Fairfield, Connecticut, yes.
I was born in Fairfield County, in Bridgeport,
Okay.
and I lived in Easton until I was 13.
That's right where I was.
How fun!
Yay.
It's like the teeniest little place in the world.
I know. I thought it was so big till I moved here and found a mountain. I was like, oh my God. Any other questions?
Just touch again, please, on the distinction between the LinkedIn.com/pub and the way that you have it there. What need you do to?
So we're going to hit edit profile
Okay.
from your computer. And then all of these are going to be almost like lit up, where you'll have a field
Okay.
next to things. And these will be spaces that you can fill things in.
So after that, it changes automatically?
In here, there'll be an actual edit button right there.
Oh, beside the...
Beside the
got
thing
it.
that says
Okay.
pub/12345. And that's what you really want to get rid of. And to me, when I look at someone who hasn't done that, or they've got owner up here, I just go, oh, how sad, they're not going to get found. It's really important that you keyword that if you want to get found for financial planning or anything. You need to put it in there. You'll be surprised how the phone will actually ring.
Tracy?
You're welcome.